the SEC network. I think that's been viewed positively by our head football coaches. You saw some announcements today about CBS and game times. Tomorrow is a big day, and probably very little sleep as Steve Shaw comes in the room to talk about collaborative instant replay. Steve won't be late. He might go long, but he won't be late. I can assure you of that. I'll stop there. Your questions are more interesting than my notes. Okay.
Well, all right, see it.
But Tony reacted most quickly.
Did you get any feedback when Steve briefed the officials on collaborative replay? Were you part of those discussions, or?
Would Steve brief the officials?
Yes. No, Steve briefed the coaches on collaborative replay. Did any of that feedback get back to you?
No.
Okay.
Other than they asked for it a year ago. We're good at delivering that. I think it was well received. I think they got to walk through some of the communication pieces, questions about how decisions are ultimately made.
Greg, was that much?
Is that a fair representation?
Where was it implemented at during the spring? I guess when y'all went to Sentinel.
In our office.
Okay.
What games? Which spring game?
Oh, just Alabama spring game. Because if we knew if we had any technical difficulties, we were close and could communicate. So that's where we tested the technology. And the issue there being, if you're watching on satellite dish, you're 20, 30 seconds behind. So you need some way to have real live video, and real-time video. We got that opportunity to communicate. It worked, I think, pretty seamlessly that day. Were you in the room that day, Chuck? It worked like it was supposed to with all the reports. I was not there.
Do you see a proposal coming from the coaches, or did they present about having juniors attend pro day in an effort to help the pros evaluate those underclassmen?
Yeah, no proposal, but the idea was identified. And it is really on the basis that we're trying to help young people access the best available information to evaluate where they might stand with potential draft status. And right now, that information really becomes postseason. So they're trying to make decisions about whether to declare for the draft or not. And they don't have the kind of information in the hands of NFL teams that might be helpful. That's the position presented by coaches.